The fragile peace between India and Pakistan faced severe tests in April and May of 2025. Tensions escalated sharply following a terrorist attack on Hindu tourists in Indian-administered Jammu and Kashmir on April 22, 2025. India promptly attributed responsibility for this attack to Pakistan. Pakistan, however, firmly denied any involvement in the incident. This pattern of accusation and denial is a familiar one in the long-standing dispute over the Kashmir region. The attack immediately raised concerns about potential military retaliation. Such incidents often serve as triggers for broader confrontations between the two nuclear-armed neighbors, putting their respective air forces on high alert and straining diplomatic channels to their limits. The international community closely watched the unfolding situation. In response to the April attack, which reportedly killed 26 people, India launched significant military operations in early May. On May 6, 2025, reports emerged of Indian missile strikes targeting locations within Pakistan-controlled Kashmir and extending into Pakistan proper. This offensive was codenamed Operation Sindoor. The stated aim was to neutralize militant sites believed to be responsible for the cross-border terrorism. The following day, May 7, witnessed further Indian strikes across multiple locations. These actions marked a serious escalation, moving beyond localized skirmishes to more overt displays of force. The use of missiles indicated a willingness by India to engage targets deeper within Pakistani territory, a significant step up from previous engagements. The aerial domain quickly became a key theater of conflict. Pakistan claimed its air force successfully intercepted and shot down several Indian jets on May 7. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif specifically stated that 5 Indian fighter jets, including a sophisticated French-made Rafale, were downed. India, however, did not confirm these substantial losses. A Pakistani military spokesperson further claimed these 5 Indian aircraft were brought down while still operating within Indian airspace. This detail, if true, would add another layer of complexity to the engagement. Simultaneously, local sources in Indian Kashmir reported witnessing 3 fighter jets crashing in separate areas, with pilots reportedly hospitalized. The differing accounts highlight the fog of war. The aerial battle on May 7 was reportedly extensive. Some accounts suggested the engagement involved as many as 125 aircraft from both sides and lasted for over an hour. A U.S. military official, speaking on condition of anonymity, stated with high confidence that Pakistan had indeed downed at least 2 Indian jets. The following day, May 8, Pakistan claimed to have shot down 25 Indian drones. India countered these claims, stating its forces had successfully neutralized Pakistani attempts to strike Indian military targets using drones and missiles. These intense engagements underscored the readiness and capabilities of both air forces to rapidly deploy and engage in significant combat operations, signaling a dangerous new phase in their rivalry. The Indian Air Force, or IAF, maintains a significant numerical advantage in terms of combat aircraft. Current estimates place its total combat fleet at approximately 616 jets. This substantial number provides India with considerable air power projection capabilities across its vast borders. The IAF's inventory is a diverse mix of aircraft sourced from various international partners, reflecting its historical procurement strategies. This numerical superiority is a key factor in India's conventional deterrence posture. The sheer size of its fleet allows for simultaneous deployment across multiple fronts if required, though this capacity is also stretched by diverse security challenges. The IAF continues to focus on modernizing its assets to maintain its edge. Among its most potent assets are the French-designed Dassault Rafale multi-role fighters. India has inducted 36 of these advanced 4.5 generation aircraft, significantly boosting its offensive capabilities. Furthermore, in April 2025, an order was placed for an additional 26 carrier-capable Rafale Marine variants, indicating a focus on enhancing naval air power as well. The backbone of the IAF's fighter fleet, however, remains the Russian Sukhoi Su-30 MKI. Approximately 260 Su-30 MKI jets are in service, providing a versatile platform for air superiority and ground attack missions. These aircraft are license-produced in India by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, contributing to indigenous aerospace capabilities and ensuring a steady supply chain for these vital assets. Beyond the Rafales and Su-30 MKIs, the IAF operates a considerable number of MiG-29 fighter jets, with around 65 currently in service. These aircraft have undergone upgrades to extend their operational life and enhance their combat effectiveness. India is also making strides in developing its indigenous fighter aircraft, the HAL Tejas. The Tejas Mark 1A represents a more advanced version of this light combat aircraft, and its induction is a priority for the IAF to replace aging MiG-21S and bolster squadron strength. Additionally, the IAF is acquiring indigenous Prachand light combat helicopters, designed for high-altitude operations, further strengthening its capabilities in mountainous border regions. These acquisitions reflect a dual strategy of procuring advanced foreign systems while fostering domestic defense production. India's commitment to a strong air force is reflected in its substantial defense spending. The projected total defense expenditure for the period 2025 to 2029 is an estimated $415.9 billion. A significant portion of this budget is allocated to the IAF for modernization and acquisition programs. Historically, Russia has been a primary supplier of military hardware to India, accounting for 36% of its total arms imports between 2019 and 2023. France has also emerged as a key strategic partner, particularly with the Rafale deal. This robust financial commitment and diversified procurement strategy aim to ensure the IAF remains a formidable force capable of addressing India's complex security environment and diverse operational requirements effectively. The Pakistan Air Force, or PAF, operates a smaller fleet compared to its Indian counterpart, with an estimated total of 387 combat aircraft. Despite this numerical disparity, the PAF has focused on acquiring modern platforms and developing indigenous capabilities to maintain a credible deterrent. Its strategy appears to emphasize qualitative enhancements to offset the IAF's quantitative advantage. The PAF's operational doctrine is heavily influenced by the specific security challenges it faces, primarily along its eastern border with India. This allows for a more concentrated deployment of its assets. The Air Force has actively sought to diversify its sources of military hardware to reduce reliance on single suppliers and gain access to advanced technologies. A key component of the PAF's modernization drive is the induction of Chinese-made Chengdu J-10CE Vigorous Dragon fighter jets. Pakistan has reportedly ordered 36 of these aircraft, with around 20 already in service. Some sources indicate 12 J-10C fighters are operational. These aircraft represent a significant leap in capability for the PAF, offering advanced avionics and weapon systems. Another cornerstone of the PAF is the JF-17 Thunder, a multi-role combat aircraft jointly developed by Pakistan Aeronautical Complex and China's Chengdu Aircraft Corporation. As of September 2024, approximately 156 JF-17 jets, including Blocks Worst and 2, were in service, forming the backbone of its fighter fleet. The PAF also operates a fleet of American-made F-16 Fighting Falcon jets. Around 76 F-16S, primarily early-model F-16A/B variants, are part of its inventory. However, the utility of these aircraft can be constrained by end-user agreements with the United States, which may place restrictions on their deployment in certain scenarios. The PAF also continues to operate older French Mirage 2000 jets, which have undergone upgrades to maintain their relevance. Future acquisitions for the PAF reportedly include the Chinese FC-31 stealth fighter, the indigenously developed PF-X next-generation fighter, and more advanced JF-17 Block 3 aircraft, signaling a continued push for technological advancement and self-reliance in its air power capabilities. Pakistan's defense budget is projected to reach $10 billion annually by 2028, with a compound annual growth rate of 2.5%. While smaller than India's overall defense spending, this investment is significant for Pakistan and allows for continued modernization of the PAF. China has become Pakistan's most important defense supplier, providing advanced aircraft, missiles, and other military technology. The United States has also been a supplier, particularly of F-16S, and Pakistan holds the status of a major non-NATO ally, though this relationship has seen fluctuations. This strategic procurement approach aims to equip the PAF with capable platforms to effectively counter regional threats and maintain a degree of parity in critical areas of air combat. Comparing the Indian and Pakistan Air Forces reveals a complex balance. India clearly holds a numerical edge with its 616 combat aircraft versus Pakistan's 387. This larger fleet theoretically allows India to absorb more attrition and project power over a wider area. However, some analysts suggest that Pakistan might possess a qualitative advantage in certain segments, particularly with the introduction of the Chinese J-10CE and the continued evolution of the JF-17 Thunder. The performance of these aircraft in any future conflict would be a critical determinant of air superiority. The recent claims from the May 2025 clashes, particularly regarding the alleged downing of an Indian Rafale by a Chinese-designed fighter, if substantiated, would represent a significant propaganda victory for both Pakistan and China. A crucial strategic factor is force allocation. India faces a two-front security challenge, needing to allocate a substantial portion of its air assets to guard its northern and eastern flanks against China. This necessity dilutes the numerical superiority it can bring to bear solely against Pakistan. In contrast, Pakistan can theoretically deploy its entire air force against India, creating a more concentrated threat along its eastern border. This strategic reality means that despite India's larger numbers, the effective force ratio in a direct India-Pakistan conflict might be more balanced than raw fleet sizes suggest. Flight Global analysis from May 2025 echoed this sentiment, suggesting Pakistan's qualitative edge and strategic deployment could potentially level the playing field. The recent aerial engagements in May 2025 were also accompanied by a significant wave of misinformation and disinformation, particularly on social media platforms. For instance, an image purportedly showing an Indian jet downed by Pakistan in May 2025 was widely circulated. However, fact-checkers revealed this image was actually from a much earlier incident, an Indian MiG-29 fighter jet crash in Barmer, Rajasthan on September 2, 2024, where the pilot had ejected safely. Posts on X, formerly Twitter and Facebook, falsely miscaptioned this old image, claiming it depicted Indian Rafale jets shot down by Pakistan. The Indian embassy in China also had to dismiss claims by China's state-run Global Times regarding Pakistani successes as disinformation, highlighting the information warfare dimension. The ongoing tensions, coupled with the continuous modernization efforts of both air forces, ensure that the aerial domain will remain a critical and potentially volatile aspect of the India-Pakistan relationship. Both nations are unrecognized nuclear weapon states, each estimated to possess around 170 nuclear warheads, adding an extremely dangerous dimension to any large-scale conventional conflict. The presence of sophisticated air defense systems on both sides, such as India's S-400 and Pakistan's HQ-9P, further complicates air operations. The recent clashes serve as a stark reminder of the risks of escalation, where miscalculation or the spread of unchecked information could rapidly lead to a wider, more devastating confrontation between these two heavily armed neighbors.